they want the front office to pick between Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White, man.
And it is clear that there is a philosophical rift in the team.
The hallway outside the Indiana Fever locker room still echoes in social media lore. A single slam, loud enough that arena security whipped their heads around, signaled the exact moment the WNBA's golden child decided she'd had it. Inside, Caitlin Clark, cheeks flushed from an 80-61 drubbing, looked straight at head coach Stephanie White and said, "Stop sabotaging my game." No TV cameras caught the words, but half the roster heard them. And within minutes, a beat reporter's microphone picked up the crash. If you thought Clark's rookie season was dramatic, buckle up, because the real fireworks didn't start until a coach who swears by system over superstar crossed paths with a player built to dominate the ball, rewrite box scores, and mint money every time she lets a 30-footer fly.
She don't know what she's doing. She's holding Caitlin Clark back. She don't know what to do with her.
What followed was part basketball fiasco, part Shakespearean power struggle, and part Wall Street panic attack. By the time the door swung open again, reporters smelled blood, fans smelled betrayal, and the hashtag #FreeCaitlin was rocketing up the charts. But that door slam was only the spark. To understand the inferno that followed, you have to rewind 2 months, pick apart a coach's controversial philosophy, follow the money trail, and watch a locker room friendship collapse on a viral fast break. And at the end, you'll have to answer one question the Fever front office can't dodge forever. Do you ride or die with the system, or the superstar who might walk out the door? July 9th, 2025, Golden One Center, San Francisco.
Stephanie White, you deserve the Dodo Bird of the Day award.
The Fever trailed the expansion Valkyries by 9, and Clark, fresh off a 5-game groin layoff, had taken just 12 shots. White's final instruction before the break was keep the ball moving. Translation, keep it out of Clark's hands. When the horn sounded, Clark glanced at the box score. 4 field goals, 2 of them threes, 10 points total. Natasha Howard had hoisted 16 tries. Seriously? Inside the locker room, she let fly. "You've turned us into background noise." Veterans gasped. Rookies froze. What tipped the powder keg wasn't just the shot count. It was months of pent-up frustration, benches and crunch time, shuffled rotations, and a coach whose mantra seemed to be anyone but the superstar.
Finding out this morning that we probably need to hold out again today. It really is a day-to-day thing. And I think for us, making sure that we're prioritizing her long-term health and wellness. It's anybody who's had some of these types of injuries understand that sometimes it's a process. She's a quick healer, and she's been doing everything that she can to get back on the floor. So, we just want to make sure that we're hypersensitive to the big picture.
Clark slammed her Gatorade, the bottle burst, water sprayed, and White fired back. "We play 5-person ball here." Kelsey Mitchell reportedly tried to mediate, only to be waved off. Sophie Cunningham later told friends the vibe felt like high school gossip turned Armageddon. Security stationed outside heard the crash, and by the time players filed out, a local beat writer tweeted, "Loud confrontation inside Fever Room, something is breaking in Indiana." That tweet hit X just as ESPN pushed its halftime update, and the algorithm did the rest. Within an hour, #FreeCaitlin ranked top 3 in US trends.
Y'all was way better without her last year, you hear me? She is sabotaging your game. She trying to make you play slow. Know what I'm saying? You have to have the ball in your hand and play up tempo. That's your game. And everybody, even Ray Charles and Stevie Wonder can see that. You hear me? And everybody that's saying the Fever is better without Caitlin Clark, aka my precious CC, goofy.
The second half didn't fix anything. Clark tied her shoe at midcourt, jogging to the corner while Howard barreled down the lane, ignoring an obvious pitch ahead. The clip hit YouTube before the final buzzer. Fans slowed it down, circled Howard's eyes, highlighted Clark's shrug. 1.7 million views overnight. And the scoreboard? 80-61, the Fever's worst loss of the season, dropping them to 9-10. As the team bus crawled through Bay Area traffic, Clark's phone lit up with texts from college teammates. "Girl, blink twice if you need help." She responded with a single zipped mouth emoji. The league's brightest star had just gone silent, and basketball Twitter shouted on her behalf.
It was only a matter of time, bro, that Caitlin Clark was going to obviously have words with Stephanie White.
Why would any coach muzzle a scoring and assist phenom who sells out every road arena? Stephanie White has an answer, and it's hiding in plain sight. Last December, she appeared on a regional broadcast analyzing an NBA game. Luka Doncic sat with a sprain, and White gushed, "The ball is popping, multiple players stepping up. They're harder to guard without him." Clips of that segment resurfaced the moment Clark's minutes started shrinking, and internet sleuths connected the dots.
Yeah, I know Caitlin Clark plays a certain type of way. You want to build a team around your superstar player. That is not the case for this team. This front office solely, to me, only care about the regiment of their team.
White doesn't distrust Clark. She distrusts gravity-bending superstars in general. Look back at her resume. At Vanderbilt from 2016 to 2021, she installed the same read and react defense, preaching share the sugar ball movement. The result? A brutal 7-23 followed by 7-24, players transferring en masse, and a buyout a year before her deal expired. Critics said she treated 5-star recruits like generic pieces. Fast forward to June 19th, 2025.
In terms of the fourth quarter, they had all but one of their buckets was inside the paint. Was that them just being able to get into the paint and get whatever they want because of that point of attack defense like you were talking about?
Yeah, they had that and 9 free throws.
White missed a road trip to Golden State for personal reasons, her second absence of the year. Even the local Fox affiliate noted the timing was curious. The Fever were skidding, national critics hammering her rotations, and front office execs wondering aloud if the locker room had tuned her out. White's philosophy isn't malicious, it's almost academic. She believes high-usage stars breed predictability, that defenses load up, and that motion is the antidote. In theory, she's right. Egalitarian offenses can win titles, see the 2014 Spurs, but theory collapses when you possess a guard who casually drains 30-footers and sees passing lanes 2 frames ahead of the defense. Clark isn't a black hole scorer. She led the league in assists as a rookie. Asking her to fit in instead of take over is like telling a Stradivarius to blend into the rhythm section. Eventually, the tune sounds flat, and the maestro walks off stage. You don't need to be a data scientist to spot the skid. Clark's per-game scoring has dipped from 19.2 as a rookie to 16.9 this year, while her three-point percentage slid from 34% to 28.9%. According to WNBA's official stats, her field goal attempts per 36 minutes have dropped and now come far later in the shot clock, indicating a shift from early push to half-court grind. Look deeper at on-off splits. In 2024, the Fever ran at a blistering 79.8 possessions when Clark played. Offensive rating cracked 106. Through 11 games in 2025, pace with her on court shrunk to 76.3, and offensive rating cratered below 102. For a guard hardwired to sprint after rebounds and launch 40-foot hit-aheads, that's torture. Advanced metrics confirm the malaise. Her true shooting percentage plunged nearly 9 points, and her PER slipped from 18.8 to 16.6, still solid, but not generational. Meanwhile, turnovers hover at 5.4, virtually unchanged, implying she's not pressing. She's simply being asked to stand still. Indiana was 20-20 last year under interim coach Christy Sides and slid into the playoffs. This season, they yo-yo around 500, 10-10 after the Dream win, despite adding an all-star big in Aaliyah Boston's third year of growth. Numbers don't always reveal ethos, but they do expose consequences. Replace tempo with hesitation, touches with decoy cuts, and you replace highlight tapes with brick-laden slogs. The spreadsheet is shouting what Clark tried to say behind that closed door. This system is choking our ceiling. 20 minutes after the Valkyries blowout, a Fever community admin clicked post on the final score graphic. Within 60 seconds, the replies were a bonfire. Refund my league pass. Clark is cardio cone out there. Fire white now. And the 3 words that would dominate the week. #free Caitlin. The tag leapt from 12 posts to 43,000 by dawn. Then team president Kelly Krauskopf poured gasoline on the flames. At a midday press conference, she praised Clark's marketing magic, but compared the organization to Apple, insisting no single employee defines our brand. Fans saw red. By sunset, Krauskopf's account was gone, and news outlets blasted headlines about a PR cave-in. Outrage wasn't confined to keyboards. At Indiana's next home game versus Atlanta, college students unfurled a 10-foot banner reading, "Let her cook." The arena cameras couldn't ignore it. Sponsors heard the noise too. A Midwestern insurance company reportedly asked for usage assurances before renewing its sleeve patch deal, fearful that benching Clark buries million-dollar impressions. National ratings plunge 53% when she's injured or benched. In modern sports, perception is currency. When a brand appears to undermine its brightest attraction, the market revolts faster than any locker room mutiny. The Fever suddenly found themselves not just battling opponents, but fighting to justify every off-ball screen Clark spent stuck in the corner. Social media may amplify drama, but the real fracture cut straight through the roster. Older vets like Natasha Howard and Erica Wheeler bristled at the idea of a sophomore guard dictating every set. Younger players, the ones who watched Clark drop 40-foot logo bombs in college, wanted to run. The tension burst into public view on one possession against Golden State. Clark grabbed a rebound, eyed Howard sprinting up the sideline, and waited for a give and go that never came. Instead, Howard barreled to the rim, Clark tied a shoe and jogged. Heat map analysts dissected the clip frame by frame. The body language screamed 2 offenses in one uniform. Inside the locker room, small slights snowballed. One source told the Indy Star a mid-June meeting devolved when Clark questioned spacing on a horn set. A vet shot back, maybe learn to play without 30 dribbles. The Fever dropped 3 of 4, each loss punctuated by visible exasperation. Clark clapping for the ball, Howard barking for a repost, Aaliyah Boston yanking teammates into huddles like a peacemaker at a family reunion. When a locker room splits, everything you do becomes a referendum. Pass? You're pandering. Pull up from 30? You're selfish. Jog to the corner because the play demands it? You're checked out. The gravitational pull of controversy swallows nuance, and soon every turnover is evidence, every glance a headline. If the Fever were a publicly traded stock, Clark would be its market cap. Forbes now values the franchise at $370 million, nearly triple its pre-draft price. Forbes ticket revenue is up 42%, merchandise up 115%, and local TV ad slots sold out by April. But the cash machine prints only when Clark is unleashed. Nielsen shows national ratings plunge 53% when she's injured or benched. New York Post. Seek. Geek confirms resale prices drop 31% for games she misses. Sponsors talk about Clark clauses that mandate a usage floor for their dollars. One sneaker launch due in September hinges on her averaging 20 shots a night. The league office knows it too. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert reportedly called the Fever brass after Clark's injury, seeking a precise return timeline because networks were sweating ad-make goods. Indiana can't treat her like any other starter, yet here we are, Ferrari idling in traffic while a motion offense hunts mid-range pull-ups. The economics scream for maximal usage, philosophy keeps stomping the brakes. Basketball historians have seen this film, starring the same directors. Vanderbilt hired White in 2016 with fanfare. 6 seasons later, she owned a 64-97 record, including back-to-back 7-23 and 7-24 implosions that emptied Memorial Gym. Players transferred not for minutes, but for system mismatch. Tactics don't travel well when the core principle ignores star hierarchy. At Vanderbilt, possession stalled into shot clock prayers. In Indiana, they stall into Clark standing near half court while a big fumbles a dribble handoff. During a June practice, an assistant suggested more pick and roll to free Clark. White's reply, "Ball screens make us predictable." Predictability is the enemy, but unpredictability without purpose is just noise. The Fever rank bottom 3 in late clock efficiency for that very reason. Analysts on ESPN's Detail broke down Clark's rookie film and found Indiana scored 1.19 points per possession when she initiated double drag action versus 0.92 on motion handoffs. The lesson should be simple: evolve or perish. Instead, the coach doubles down, fielding questions with buzzwords: process, multiple actions. While every possession resembles her Vanderbilt past on a brighter stage, 3 paths lie ahead, and none allow for half measures. Option A: fire the coach now, promote an assistant, scrap the motion, hand Clark the keys. Upside: instant fan forgiveness, ratings guarantee. Downside: ownership eats the final 2.5 years of White's deal. Option B: retool the roster around White. Trade volume scorers for cutters. Hope Clark embraces an off-ball evolution. Downside: if her usage stays low, she could demand a blockbuster trade, triggering the biggest sweepstakes in league history. Option C: choose Clark and revamp the scheme. Keep White, but force a tactical U-turn, more pick and rolls, early offense pull-ups. Upside: continuity plus appeasing the superstar. Downside: philosophies rarely bend mid-season. Timelines accelerate when money's on the line. Networks lock spring schedules in January. Corporate partners need clarity by Christmas. Translation: Indiana has roughly 6 months to prove it can marry philosophy with star power before the marketplace, and Clark herself forces the issue. The echo of that locker room door still vibrates through the season. It was the moment 2 uncompromising visions collided: a coach convinced no player is bigger than the system, and a superstar whose very existence rewrites the system's math. Either the Fever unleash Caitlin Clark and ride the wave of talent, revenue, and momentum she generates, or they cling to a philosophy already fraying at the seams. One path leads to packed arenas chanting MVP, while Clark orchestrates 25 and 12 masterpieces. The other leads to empty seats, deleted social accounts, and the headline nobody in Indianapolis wants to read. WNBA's brightest star demands out. If you're tired of watching potential shackled, drop #FreeCaitlin in the comments. Make the powers that be feel the tremor, because the next slam echoing down that hallway might be a door closing for good.